Welcome. I'm going to demonstrate how to record an iPad application using uperform. Well, actually I'll be using HP Art. The challenge here is that Ansili only supports recording applications on Windows, which is a bit of a limitation. To get around this limitation, I have to do some fairly ugly hacks. I'd like to improve this, and that's why I'm talking about how we really need to get Ansili to offer an embedded scripting language such as Python into the uperform tool. So if I want to take advantage of all the nicely automatically generated outputs that the Ansili software can do, but the application that you want to record is something that runs on an iPad, and after all that's where all the interesting new applications are getting written, then here's what you need. So first up, I have a copy of HP Art, and I've run this in a virtual machine, and I've set the virtual machine up so that it has access to the desktop of the Mac that I'm running this on. Next, I need to have the Xcode development environment, and from inside the Xcode development environment I can simulate a variety of different devices. So I can simulate iPhones and iPads and stuff like that. So I'm going to simulate an iPad 2 here, and I'll run that up. So now here's my iOS simulator. I'll just head home and rotate it left so it fits on screen a little bit better. Still not great, but it's okay. So here's how I will record a simulation. Let's say I'm going to go into the calendar application just to make it nice and easy. So what I do is I do this repeated screenshot. I save a screenshot, go and do some action, save a screenshot. Let's go and put in another calendar entry here. So I need to hit the plus button. Okay, we'll go and do another screenshot and start typing something in. And yeah, take another screenshot. Obviously, this takes quite a long time. Every single thing that you do, you have to take a screenshot straight afterwards. I might just hit the add button there and then take a screenshot just to finish it off. Then I switch over to my HP Art environment, and I'll create a recording. So I'll call this recording my iPad 2 application, and start the recording. Now it doesn't actually matter what I do here, because I'm not going to take any of the steps that were in this recording at all. So I'm just going to take one click, which is going to do, start the recording, do one click. That gets me a screenshot of some kind. Now I'll stop that, and that brings me up the art environment, and I've got a step. So I duplicate that step, I copy it and paste it numerous times. Copy, paste. So I'll create a step for each of the oops, that was a delete instead of a paste. For each of the number of times that I hit the save screenshot button a moment ago in the iOS simulator. Okay, so what do I need to do now? Over in my desktop, I should be able to see a bunch of iOS simulator screenshots, and there's 5 of them there. So I'll say edit and select all, copy, and then I can paste that into here. No, I don't want to resize the image, I want to change the working size. So now I've got my first screenshot into uperform. So I'll keep on doing that with the next screens. It's going to be a rather slow process, as you can imagine. So yeah, let's edit that one and say, yep, select all, copy, switch back to uperform, paste that in. Don't want to resize the image, okay, and let's repeat this process rather tediously for another 5 or 6 tries. What I'm going to do is say not 5 or 6, it's just 5. Edit, select all, and copy. As you can see, it takes a while just to put in a very small number of steps. Let me just do one more just to finish it off. So that's a screen I need to paste into there. Grab the image, edit, select all, copy, and paste it into the simulator here. Actually, got one more to do. There's the screen. Hop into the simulator. Select and copy and paste that in. Okay, so the effect now is that I've got a bunch of screens that look vaguely like iOS doing stuff in a row. So now I've got my next step to do, which is I need to remember all the actions that I did before and then turn these steps into simulated clicks in iOS. So I'll obviously have to change the text on this one, so instead of saying click the control, I'll say touch the calendar icon. And moving on to the next step, I think what I did is I hit the plus button at that point to go and create a new step, new appointment. Click the control, so that should be maybe touch the plus add button. And now this one's a bit different because instead of actually touching anything, I'm going to have to change this action and say that it wasn't really a click, it was actually an edit of a field. And the control field is a text box, and tell it that it can fit over here somewhere. So we've got the title, and then obviously need to change the text that was used in order to do this. So the example text would be this is an appointment, and so that should populate it out. And then I think my next step was to hit the add button, and then I believe that was the last thing that I did. So instead of click the control, let's just touch the add button. Touch the add button. And I don't really have a final step, so I might just delete that action altogether. Oops, delete the action altogether. And perhaps I'd put and I'll get rid of that last lesson step as well, and perhaps I'll put a highlighted note on this area of the screen. So let's insert a highlighted note just to say that the appointment has appeared here. So that's up here. Now all up, that's taken me quite a few minutes to record this simulation and to get it into shape. So I think I've done 5 steps, and it's taken me several minutes. Note that the appointment appears. And this isn't terribly efficient. Now from here I can just save the simulation, and I should be able to build it now as well. So I'll just preview it just to make sure I've got it right. Oops. Preview it to make sure I've got it right. And with a couple of minutes work, I have managed to get a simulation that will probably take a couple of seconds to run. Let's have a look. Allow the blocked content. Simulation, touch the calendar icon. Yep. Now it's a bit strange, of course, that I've got a pointy mouse rather than a hand, but I could use the template modification to change that to a hand, or I could go and edit each individual step and turn it into a hand. But nonetheless, I've managed to record a simulation that, if somebody was looking at this on an iPad or was needing to learn how to use something that runs on an iPad would probably be usable. But I think you'll agree it was rather slow and painful. It's taken me several minutes just to get a few seconds worth of simulation recorded. We could make this a whole lot easier if I could write a program that could insert the steps into the recording automatically. So there were a couple of things I had to do here. One was I was copying and pasting to create steps. That could be automated. For each of those steps I then had to go and edit the step and modify the screen, and that was quite a painful exercise. And then for each of the steps I then had to go and modify where the icon was and what the text on the note was. Again, these all could be automated. It would be much easier if we could just automatically write a program to generate this stuff. Given that I've got the screenshots, I can do some image analysis to work out where things were touched. So what we really need from Ansali is either a command line interface to uperform, so that I could just bring up a command prompt and say uperform add screen and then some file name, or alternatively if there was a programming interface, if there was a menu item here that said file run a script. So for example, if Ansali embedded something like Python or Lua as a scripting language and provided it with access to the insert steps into a recording, modify the image, insert actions, as long as those APIs were available in that embedded scripting language, we would then be able to provide our own value add additions on the top of the uperform platform. And so obviously one of those most significant additions that we could add would be the ability to pull in recordings from iPad applications or from other platforms that uperform don't support. So I hope you found this helpful, and thanks very much for listening.